Wait, are we recording?
Yes, Jess, we're recording.
Well, welcome to
Two Girls, No Plan.
Where nothing is scripted
And it's all our honest opinions.
with a few chaotic moments.
So tune in
Buckle up.
and grab a glass of your favourite drink,
And
unless you're driving.
I wanted to move back.
Hey guys,
Welcome back.
to our new episode,
And today we're discussing
Cruise Ship Nightmares.
Ooh.
Spirit fingers.
hands.
Oh yeah, just hands.
Well, we're talking about cruise ships today, and we actually went on a cruise in 2022, 2023. I think it was
Yeah.
2022
Well,
actually.
was it 2024? Because it would have been for my 25th birthday.
But we went to maybe 24th birthday, because 2024 we went to Europe. 2025 I went to Japan,
Okay.
so it would have been 2023. So it
Okay.
would have been for your 24th birthday.
I know it was at the start of 2024. It was because we went.
We went to Europe the
and
same
Europe.
year. Whoops. Well, anyway,
That's all right.
we're just
We
trying to
got
work
there
out
in
what
the end.
year we went. So yeah, 2020. Oh, there you go. Fire out.
Which I should have just let you go with that. But you know what? I wanted to be right in this scenario, okay? Shannon's always right.
And she's like, this is probably the one time in our friendship she's going to be right. So
Yeah, so we went to a cruise in New Zealand
Yep.
and we actually had a good experience, but there
Yes.
are some crazy experiences and nightmares out there with cruise ships.
Especially right now, you guys would have heard about the hantavirus, which
Yes.
started on a cruise ship and affected 3 people. It started off with 3 people.
Yes.
And then I think after that, it then spread off to 11 people, and they're still currently unwell with it at the moment.
Yeah, they're quite concerned that it might be another like COVID outbreak almost.
Yep.
But this one has a higher mortality rate than COVID as
It
well.
did, yeah, because it's already killed 3 people now. Has it
Yeah.
killed 3? Yeah.
I think and there's a few people in hospital and it is spreading.
And
quite-
it's funny though, because it is similar to coronavirus, because coronavirus obviously started off with a bat, and hantavirus actually started off with it affecting rodents, and then
Rodents.
obviously it passing down to humans, which is both things. Obviously in this case though, coronavirus was because someone ate a bat
yeah.
and passed it on, but in this case it was just because of apparently
contact from urine, feces, or saliva
Yes.
with affected rodents,
so
which is something that you can't really avoid.
No.
Because rats, rodents, they're
But-
everywhere.
but
Like
the thing is, like, was it their feces or like their droppings getting into your food and you eating it, or were you making out with a rat?
or who knows? Maybe someone ate a rat. That could have started it too. If it started with the bat, then it could have started with eating a
But-
rat.
But that's the thing though too, like with the bat, did they eat it raw or did they cook it? Because when you cook things, normally it kills a lot of the bacteria.
Correct, but bats are one of those ones. I looked this up because I was curious why bats contain so much like
Stuff. Yeah.
like viruses and stuff, because of the way they fly. Interesting fact here, because they fly really high and their body temperature is normally really hot,
Yeah.
it can kill a lot of viruses a lot easier. So what's the word for it? They're not susceptible to catching.
their immune system.
Yeah, their immune system's a lot stronger because of that. So I thought that was
Oh.
really interesting, and also because they fly everywhere as well, they
Wow.
can spread it a lot easier too. So yeah, you have to cook
Yes.
the bats at a really high temperature to
Far
actually
out.
kill anything.
Yeah, well, do you know what's a bit scary though is with coronavirus, obviously it was more airborne, so like obviously you've been around people, you can get it. Hantavirus is actually a little bit harder to get it off someone, but once it does, it can affect you in so many different ways. Like it can do cardiopulmonary syndrome, I should know this,
I don't even know what
as a
nurse.
nurse, do you know what? I'm just going to make it easier. HFRS. So usually to do something with the renal system. So unfortunately, it's affecting your heart, which is cardio, pulmonary, which is the lungs, and then renal, which is the kidneys. So it's amazing of what it actually does affect.
Wow, yeah, it's crazy.
So
And it also takes around 2 to 4 weeks before anyone starts to show symptoms, sometimes up to 8 weeks. So you can
Wow.
imagine how quickly a virus like that could spread if you don't know you have it, or
yeah,
your
definitely
partner has
praying
it.
out to all the ones that are still suffering with it at the moment and how they're going through it. But it's amazing because speaking of hantavirus, and we'll touching base on it before, but coronavirus as well, because corona did affect a lot of people during cruises, and there was people that were stuck on cruises because of when COVID hit. and they weren't allowed
Yes.
to leave. Like, imagine you meant to be on a holiday and going back to work in 2 weeks' time, and they're telling you you're not allowed to leave because COVID spread on the boat.
Oh, yeah. I so all the people that had all the travel plans in 2020, it was 2020, yeah,
Yeah.
with coronavirus and had to cancel all their travel plans and anything they had to organize, I feel for you.
But you know what's
honestly.
interesting? It's obviously 2020. That's how we remember it, because that was meant to be a new decade for us and things like that.
Yeah.
Go figure, though, it's called COVID-19 because technically it was discovered well, actually, it was probably discovered
Yeah, it was
beforehand.
discovered in December.
But
wasn't it?
the outbreak was, December, COVID-19. And I remember so many people talking about it because I did my nursing placement in March 2020. And I remember them saying this is going to be like Ebola again, where it's not going to be serious. Ended up being serious, and touching on Ebola, they've casually mentioned it now too as well.
Say, I think you jinxed us.
I mentioned
Shani
it
was
earlier.
mentioning it like a couple of weeks ago about like, oh, lucky it's not Ebola and all this stuff, and now we've got an Ebola outbreak. Which honestly, out of all the virus out there, I truly think Ebola. I would not want to die with Ebola. So
I don't think I want to die with any of them. I want to live to a long grave. You know, be further away.
We want to live into our 90s and have our little canes and going on the dance floor together.
I want to fight. Like, I want to fight sorry, Bonnie. I want to fight a bitch with a cane. And in saying that, my lovely little sister is behind the scenes today. She won't show her face, but you can say a quick hi, Bonnie. You want to yell out hi?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Spoken like a true 8-year-old. But yeah, no, that definitely catch me off guard how she said that.
Yeah, she sounded Irish.
You
then.
did sound a bit Irish. I promise she is Australian.
Well, we were fortunate enough with our cruise that we didn't have to cancel our cruise either.
No,
because there was talk that it was going to go.
It was going to be a bit more serious, like a lot more serious restrictions, because it was like the COVID vaccination and things like that, and having to test yourself for COVID beforehand. Obviously, I think all three of us did test ourselves, even though we weren't forced to, just to make sure we didn't have it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how many false positives were out there, because my mum missed my 24th birthday because she tested positive for COVID, and then she tested herself the next day and it was negative. So whether or not it was a false positive or she just tested too late, who knows? But I think that was one thing that annoys me now, even as a healthcare worker, because obviously if you're sick you don't go out, but I think what annoys me now is we went through all those lockdowns just to be told now that if you have it you can go to work. The only places you can't go to work is obviously healthcare, like, because I know people that are allowed to go to work if they have COVID. I can't though. I'm not allowed to, but other people can.
Hats off to anyone who ended up getting through all restrictions with only getting one jab as well.
Or no jabs, because I might know people that had no jabs.
Yes.
But yeah, speaking of some cruise ship nightmares, because obviously that sounded like a nightmare, I think we were going to discuss a bit of some creepy stories today, weren't we? Or not creepy stories, but a bit of some disgusting stories.
Yeah. Well, you want to go with the stories first?
Oh, actually,
we got another poop cruise. I think it's called a train wreck poop cruise.
Well, what it is the poop cruise, and on Netflix you can catch it. So go Netflix. It's called the train wreck, because obviously, but they should call it a cruise wreck, really.
Yeah.
So, and my sister behind the camera doesn't know about this. So the poop cruise, which refers to the infamous voyage on the Carnival, which we went on Carnival as well, but not the same ship. We went on, which one did we go on? Not
Carnival
Splendor.
Was it?
Oh yeah, it was Splendor. So we went on Carnival Splendor, and this one happened on Carnival Triumph in 2013, the same year our sister was born. So there you go.
Yeah. This cruise was actually quite big as well. There was over 4,000 people, so you can imagine what we're about to say, how hectic it would have been as well.
Yep, it was pretty... Okay, so to give you guys a bit of an idea, because you're thinking poop cruise, did everyone just get like diarrhea? No, it's worse. Because if that happened, at least you've got working plumbing. But in this case, they didn't have working plumbing. So a massive fire engine knocked out the power for everywhere. So you can imagine the toilets, the showers. And do you know what happens on a cruise? Do you guys realize where the sewage goes? It stays on the boat, or they have at least lines to let out that sewage. But if that's not working, the sewage gets
It
backed
just
up.
gets backed up.
And so these poor guys on the middle of the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico,
Oh my god,
the
I couldn't
sewage
imagine.
starts leaking out. So all the poop and urine and vomit and water and everything starts to come out into the hallways, leading to putrid smells. And also worse, in Mexico, it's very hot. So can you imagine with no air conditioning and all that stuff coming around?
The
And
stink, how hot it is, the smell.
Like, it's already hard enough when you sit on the toilet yourself and you're boiling hot. Like, we've gone to a friend's farm and it's like a tin shed to go to the toilet and outhouse
as well.
The flies, the heat, everything. That's already hard enough. You're only in that for like maybe 5 minutes tops if you're, doing your business. Imagine on this boat, they were stuck on it for ages.
They were, weren't they? Like, because of the fact their radios were down as well, so they couldn't actually contact anyone. I heard as well.
No.
So there was no form of, and also there started to become like food shortages as well, because obviously the power's gone out, so all the refrigerators have gone out as well.
So they had to rely on like snacks and things like that, nothing healthy to eat. So your digestive system is taking a massive hit on that too as well, because obviously we know friends that will probably just live on soft drink and chips. But can you imagine doing that for days on end while your digestive system is not working? And also, obviously they're not eating anything that's going on board, but the problem is the smells and things like that can still carry a lot of diseases and still pass it along.
Yeah, I'm surprised like nothing outbreak, like no gastro outbreak happened or anything like that. There was nothing like that, was there?
Mm-mm.
No. So
but do you know what's the worst thing on top of it? So can you imagine, all right, so all that's coming on board, so where do they need to go now if they need to use the restroom? They were forced to urinate in their showers, which urine's already a horrible smell as it is. And then they were forced to defecate in
bags, wasn't it?
Biohazard bags and tie them up and leave them in the corridors.
Could you imagine as a worker going around and having to hand everyone a little baggie for their feces?
I'd want to quit on this. I would want to quit on the spot.
The question I would have is, how would you poop in a bag? I honestly think that I would put it in a bin. I'll grab the little bin inside the little room and I would put it over the bin and just poop in the bin. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Do you know, it's a shame we don't have like commodes where you can have it on top of it, so that way you can just like hold on to something. Without showing your face, Bonnie, how would you poop in a plastic bag?
I would get, instead of a tiny bag, I would get those trash things, and then I'd grab the trash bag, then I would do it.
Oh, so you'll go in a small bag and then a big bag. So you would double bag.
Let's be real. We've got a smart 8-year-old over here because she's the only one that actually thought to double bag, because even I didn't think to double bag.
You wouldn't think that they would have enough like bags on the cruise ship either, would you? So you'd probably only get one each for like how many days you were there. Oh my god! I didn't think about
as a healthcare worker, we have so many biohazard bags, but definitely not enough.
Could you imagine?
You think for all the passengers, right? But no, all the crew on board too as well, and all the captains. So that's well over 4,200 people.
Oh my god, I couldn't think of anything worse. I think people were trying to sleep on top of the balcony as well.
Yes.
So to escape the smell. But I'm sorry, if that's happening, I don't think there's no escaping the smell. To be honest, I would grab the lifeboat and jump in a lifeboat and get myself back to the Gulf of Mexico instead of staying on that cruise ship. Would you come with me?
I would.
Bonnie will. Shani doesn't. Leave Shani behind. That's
wow,
even
guys,
worse.
I'm offended at this point. It actually took nearly 5 days for heavy-duty tugboats. So they were stuck on that boat for 5 full days with all that shit, literally
It's
shit
actually making me feel
running around.
just thinking about.
And
Gross.
so it took them nearly 5 days for heavy-duty tugboats to tow the stranded vessel because all the electricity, everything, they couldn't fix it. So they had to be towed. So they weren't even allowed to go in these lifeboats and go away.
Wait, so the lifeboats were electronic as well?
I don't know, but
Like
clearly they didn't use them.
They actually probably would.
Oh, they would to be able to lower, but there
Well,
should be
I
a
ain't no
manual thing. There should be a
escaping.
manual way.
They should have. Well, this is probably a good sign for them to have backup generators so that something like this won't happen again. Because
Well, do you know what? They probably did have backup generators, but someone probably stuffed it up.
yeah, true. I'm pretty sure they all got a refund, which you'd hope for.
Well,
So
let's see if they did get a
I
refund.
think there was a refund, and they got like a $200 like gift card or like a gift card or something.
I
like that.
want more than
To be
200.
honest, I'd want like free cruise ships for a year after something like that.
Yeah.
I would not be like settling for anything lower than that.
Wow.
It double checks that. I also will ask you guys, could you live on a cruise ship for a year? So there is a couple that apparently lives on a cruise ship for a year, and apparently it's cheaper than renting. So I did do the addition, and it does work out to be cheaper. Because you get food all covered for you. It's $30,000 a year to live on a cruise ship. So
Are you kidding me?
why not? You get to travel the world. You get food cooked for you every single day. So let us know if that's something you'd want to.
The only thing I could think of, right, is you could do that, but if you could, you'd have to get a working from home job.
Yeah,
that.
true. And then
Like,
make money on the cruise ship.
So you'd have to make sure that
True.
you've paid for the Wi-Fi that you could use anywhere and anything,
Or
and
just
you'd have to pay for a
Bring
phone
Starlink
plan.
on.
Yeah, or Starlink, and then you have to pay for a phone plan that covers you for like out of the country and things like that. Otherwise, that would be great, because if you're like on the same cruise going to America or something, or surrounding America, and you're like normally from Australia, let's say, that's great, because if they want you to dial in on a call or literally come in and say, hey, any chance you can come in for a meeting like next week? Yep, let me check the cruise. Cruise itinerary.
No, I think I could do it for a year.
There you go.
Like, you just jumped from cruise ship to cruise ship and just do it for a year. Like, everything's
It would
done
actually
for
work,
you.
because we left on a cruise, like we left off a cruise, sorry, like how to explain, when we ported, like when we got back to the port, we got off, they had to spend the entire day cleaning, and then they would have more people on.
Yeah.
And we departed early because we had to have a plane to catch, so we departed about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, probably even earlier. And they needed people to be able to get on the ship by like 2 p.m. Those stewardess and chief stews would have been,
God,
they were awesome though.
to be honest, hats off to every staff member on that cruise. They are absolutely amazing.
Yep.
With like their personalities,
Yes.
the way they look after you, the rooms.
Yep.
Like, I had no issues, and they're also funny as well.
Oh, our chief stew, I actually loved him. I think we were very blessed in like the stewardess, because obviously you have different stewardess, but then you also have a chief one that comes around and that like does everything else. And we'd call him, and he's like, yes, ladies, what do you need? And I'm like, oh, I need everything now. Like, can you fix my whole life?
And then we also got like happy birthday written on my mirror as well, which I was so confused about, because I didn't tell anyone that it was my
a
birthday. Well, it wasn't like my birthday, it was my birthday week. I called it my birthday week. I've never done a birthday week before, so it was celebrating my birthday week. So I asked the girls, like, did you tell the stewardess? Like, did you let them know?
No. And
so we thought they got the wrong room in the end.
And do you know what's funny? Haley and I were going to pay for the thing to like get happy birthday put into it, but I'm not even joking, no offense to Carnival, but I think it was quite expensive just to get like a happy birthday banner put in the room.
Yeah, and they did this cute little towel that was like a happy birthday. Like, it was the 2-tier cake with what's it called?
Candles and like
the flower thing. What's the flower thing called? Like a colourful flower necklace.
Arrangement, like an edible arrangement.
Put around it. And then they wrote happy birthday in chalk over the mirrors. And we all took our selfies, which I'll drop a photo on our Instagram.
It was
I
so
think
pretty.
I already have. Oh, no, I am going to.
I have one that I've got my phone and the girls are in the background, because we all had to dress up in white as well. And that was the same day, I think, that they did the happy birthday. Correct. It was like white night, which out of all the nights we went, white night was one of my favourite nights.
It was. And I will be posting photos and videos of that on our Instagram. So if you haven't already follow us on Instagram as well.
Yes, and please leave a comment, share us around, and if you've got any feedback or you want us to mention any of your stories on the Two Girls No Plan podcast, well, you have to follow us and then keep up, so then you can see your stories being added to our podcast.
Yeah, because I do want to share everyone's like cruise nightmares and stuff too.
Yes,
I do want to do another segment on this, because I think this is actually quite funny and quite interesting.
And it's such a big topic, because you search up cruise ship or like anything, it's amazing how many things pop up on the internet.
Yeah.
But into saying that, how much did everyone get back? So everyone's initial package, full fare refunds, reimbursement, everything like that, Everyone got it back. And then they got $500 in cash per person and a future cruise credit. So not only did they get
Okay.
full refunds, they got, technically they would have gotten a cruise credit to use for another cruise, and then they got an extra $500 in cash. In saying that, that's fantastic. But if I was on that cruise and that happened to me, I don't think I'd ever want to go on a cruise again.
No,
I-
but it would be fine if it was the last day. Like, was this the first day that they went out? Because, like,
I think it was only within a few days of it happening. That's
'cause,
the
like,
problem.
imagine
yeah.
getting through your whole holiday. Yeah, you go and you stop at all your destinations. You're having the time of your life. You've experienced the whole cruise, and then on the last day that this happens, I think that would be better than on the like second or first day that this happens.
Okay, so all right, so it was only meant to be a 4-day trip. Okay, that's a little bit better to know, but still horrible. 4-day trip. It doesn't say when it happened, but yeah, that's
Okay, so then it would have probably happened straight away almost.
yeah. But it happened. It would have had to be on day 2 or 3. And hear me out, is because those are the days you're typically still at sea or like in between the like locations, depending on how far it takes you. Because I think it was a one-way trip, so it wasn't just like our cruise where we like kind of docked off into other different destinations. It was like from I think somewhere in America to the Gulf of Mexico. So it was one trip. So it was 4-day trip. So yeah.
Well, we've got some funny cruise stories that we have
Yes.
found online or throughout. I don't know. They're quite funny, I will admit. I do have 3, but we'll see how we go, whether I can get all 3. They are short, but it is quite funny. So I'll start it off.
Yep.
And Shani's got a few as well. So we hope you find this interesting. We'll go on, right? So that was playing in the background.
Yep.
And, you know, at this time, who would you think that was a good idea? A pipe had ruptured and water was rushing down the stairs like it does in Titanic.
Yes.
With the Titanic theme song playing. Luckily, our cabins were fine, but some people had to be moved because theirs flooded. So literally like the Titanic movie, if you haven't watched it, like, are you even living? Like, that is one of my favorite movies ever. But yeah, so they had the theme song playing. What I would have loved to see though is sometimes they have like little bands on the cruises. If they were actually there with the violin while this was happening, that would be 10 times funnier.
Could you imagine?
How does this song? I don't even know how to sing it. But yeah.
I feel like I know it every time someone says it. I'm like, yeah, I know that song. And then they start singing it. I'm like, is that how it goes?
We'll have
I grew up. I loved the Titanic growing up, actually. I was a dedicated Titanic fan at Bonnie's age, actually, because I remember being in year 3. But I remember watching the movie, my mum having like the platinum DVD or VHS. We went to the Titanic Museum, so it came down to Australia, and we had like our own like we got to see pieces of the actual ship, like the shipwreck, and we got to touch the iceberg, which was so cold. And then we got to touch the iceberg, and oh my goodness, it was so cold. And then I also got to, for my nan's birthday, we got to sit into the Titanic themed restaurant, but it got closed down, and I think it was due to food poisoning.
How dare they? Well, there you go. She's obviously a bigger fan than I am. See, my partner actually ruined Titanic for me. I loved Titanic for so long. And then he's like, oh, haven't you noticed that they're just cheaters? And I'm like, how dare you say that?
Well, Rose was a cheater.
But
Jack will never be a cheater in my eyes. Jack.
He's not wrong.
No.
He's definitely not wrong.
Rose, I don't care about Rose. I care about Jack. And Rose, there was plenty of room on that door. Okay, I'm sorry. And if people are like, oh, but they're done studies, there wasn't. I don't care. How could they not switch halfway through? You know, that's no. And then she's like, I'll never let go. And then what did she do? She let go. No,
because she could have just held his hand until they got back to the
yeah, literally. And then the song "My Heart Will Go On." Well, yeah, clearly Rose will because it's still beating, but will Jack's? No, because she left him at the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, but anyway, I've got a bit of a story too. Which shout out BuzzFeed, because this is where I got my stories from.
Ooh la la.
And it's more of kind of a little bit of statements, but it was, I went on a cruise with my boss and her family. It was a really good time, except one night her teen son failed to return to the room. She woke me up at 1:30 in the morning asking if her son had come back to the room, and I said, "What?" We immediately got dressed and called customer service, evoking a very large search party on the cruise. Can you imagine like a group of people looking for you?
Oh God.
We could not find him anywhere, and we started growing concerned that something horrible had happened. Fair as well, because people do jump off or fall off boats.
Yeah.
We circle back to the open deck where we find him and a group of teens sleeping under the stars. They set up a whole camping situation on the pool deck. He was nestled between two girls, and my boss ended that very quickly. It's safe to say he stayed inside the room for the rest of the cruise because that's what the boss did. The boss made him stay in the room.
The boss made him stay in the room for the rest of the cruise.
Yeah, because it was her son. So his mum made him stay in his room for the rest of the cruise. To be fair, if you scared me enough to make me think my son's
falling off,
I would do the same thing.
Oh my God. Now that's cute though, that they were just all asleep
nice
on their
one, though. Nothing too over the top.
Adorable.
Except maybe the mum getting a full search party, but Can you imagine? You with your friends, oh my goodness, I love this. Where is he? Oh God, like what have we done?
Well, this one is a little bit raunchy.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're been in a relationship or done the deed, that you can be concerned that someone might walk in on you. All right. Not too crazy, but recently on the Symphony, which is one of the cruise lines, our room steward walked in on my girlfriend and I as we were just starting to get busy, if you know what I mean. He gave a quick knock, and within like a second, the door was open before we could say, "Don't come in." It was late afternoon. The room had already been made up, so I didn't think of putting that "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door.
Yeah.
We were both totally naked and not sure exactly how much he saw as we both jumped to cover up quickly. Unfortunately for him, I think the best view he got was my man's ass. He apologized when he saw us a little while later. We both still laugh about it. Now, this is so awkward, but my poor brother has had this experience. I'm just throwing this out there. I don't care.
Which brother?
Aaron has unfortunately done exactly the same scenario to my partner and I.
I didn't know this.
That's why I thought I'd say it, because you'd be gobsmacked over it.
Was it
so? Literally, just pretend the steward was my brother, and the rest is storyline. But yeah, man's ass. Yep. My poor brother. Shout out to Aaron.
Poor Aaron.
You look so shocked. You don't even know what to say.
Look, we go into this, and obviously sometimes we mention stories that we both, neither of us have heard, or but oh my goodness, I'm going to be talking to you about this afterwards. Wait, did this happen recently?
In the last month? No, sorry, it was when he was so 6 months ago.
Okay, good. So I know at least who it was with.
Yeah. I don't even know why I didn't tell you, but now I've
it probably
just
just
told
didn't
the
come
whole
up in conversation though. Well, mine are going to be like blasé and boring compared to these ones. Well, maybe I have to find a better one. But anyway, another BuzzFeed one, but not me, but my dad tells a horrendous story about his senior year cruise. It was lots of students from several local high schools on a cruise ship in the late 1980s. Ooh. Can you imagine all those senior year, like all those kids and everything, like all fresh 18-year-olds.
Fresh 18-year-olds wanted to party it up.
Mind you, they're not meant to be drinking because it's America, but you know.
Yeah, you're meant to be 21, not 18.
Exactly. That's shout out to Australia because the drinking age is 18.
Yeah, we're recognised as adults.
But in Europeans, 16 as well.
Oh,
so a little bit jealous, but not like I didn't start drinking at 16 anyway. But Mum, sorry.
I didn't, Mum. Only Shani did.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. That's another story.
There was lots of alcohol involved and really nasty weather. The boat was rocking terribly and did not let up for days. He said so many people got violently seasick. Can you imagine already having alcohol or being hungover while the boat's rocking? Like she got really...
I hate seasickness. I get it really bad.
When we went on our cruise, I had it for maybe like the first 2-3 days tops. Jess, I think it wasn't until halfway through the trip that it finally started to subside. And I think at that point we had no more seasickness tablets left.
Nah, I just somehow worked out that alcohol was just balancing my brain somehow and
the sickness.
So
Yeah.
like I was like, let's just keep drinking alcohol and
Yep.
I'm not feeling seasick anymore. But obviously not for these people.
No. So apparently there was vomit sprayed along the common area walls, all over the carpeted stairs, hand railings, all over the handles. And when my dad started feeling ill, someone told it was better if he left his cabin and went to the deck for air. When he finally got up there, he immediately slipped and fell into a puddle of someone's vomit, and then he got sick on himself.
Oh my god, that just came back as a memory when I was camping and I slipped on your vomit. She literally just vomited straight outside
my tent.
the door of her tent.
My tent, to be fair. No,
I did say her tent. I did say your tent.
Yeah.
But outside her tent, right at the door. So I popped my head in to see if she was okay, forgetting that the vomit was there. And then I put my foot straight in her orange and red vomit.
Yeah,
I don't even know why it would have been that colour. It was so bad.
I can't remember what I had.
Yeah, like we would have just been eating sausages and
Probably
salads
tomato
and
sauce
stuff,
and like maybe
tomato
cruises
sauce.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the cruises, but yeah.
Yeah, whoops.
Nah,
At least they've got sugar-free cruises now, which I love.
Everyone vomiting on the rails, slipping in it. Ugh,
And on the
gross.
handles. Can you imagine like trying to get fresh air and there's vomit on the handles? And then also the fact that he goes out there and he slips and falls straight into it.
Oh, nah. So these are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. We got time maybe for a quick one.
We do.
I guess. Is your other one short?
My one's very short.
All right. I'll basically so this one's a worker and in his first week of working here, this is what happened. So he said so many people I can't say the word
Defecated.
right. Defecating.
Shout
Not
out
in
healthcare.
a toilet, apparently. So a lot of people do that on cruises. On the stairs a few times, other people's rooms, disturbingly often in pools. They get drained and cleaned every time.
Yep.
So like poop on stairwells, poop in the pools, poop everywhere, he said. Obviously people that go on cruises just don't know hygiene at this rate. In a week, we had a couple who returned to the room to find it covered in shit. They went to guest services, obviously, and it ended up being an older man with dementia who really had to go. Saw an open room, didn't quite make it, and I guess tried to clean himself off on the bulkheads and carpet. Now, like, look, I feel sorry for this man because he had no other... But, like, where was his family members? Like, why was he, alone and not with someone else? And he would have just been, like, wiping his butt everywhere. So there was literally shit everywhere.
And can I touch on that for a sec? Do you know what really annoys me? Is that it's like the same thing at pools or like the aged cares and things. A lot of family members will just dump their kids or elderly family members on the workers and just leave them. I hate that. Absolutely hate it.
It's so sad. And then that same week, there was another older man who had some watery stool in the pool, then jumped into the jacuzzi to clean himself off. A different week, there was also a kid, 10-ish, who co-browned one of the pools 5 times. Now, it's not easy, Shani will explain, because I think hers might be similar to this. It's not easy to clean the pools.
No, and I found this out actually in doing a bit of research because we actually talked about this, was that because I didn't realize how it worked with the water in pools. Like, how do they get it? Like, because they can't just like get a helicopter to dump off water. And then I did some research, so I'll quickly get it up. But how do they, stock up the pool water? But to give you guys an idea, is that they have to take the water from the ocean. They have to like filter it. They have to, get everything out. Like, they have to do so many things to it, and then it's safe for people to swim in it.
It's like almost like a 24-hour process almost. And if you're only on the cruise for 7 days and this bloody kid is like pooping in it almost every single day, then you have no pool. Like, yeah, they have second or third pools, but like still,
no,
that's like gross.
So
pull your kid out, like ban him from the freaking pool.
So here it is. So cruise ships fill their pools either by pumping in raw filtered seawater or using desalinated fresh water produced on board, which is very rare. So most of the time they will usually end up sucking the water and then passing it through sand filters and like obviously just filtering it. But there's a whole process because they have to do so much to it before it can be put in. So if you've ever noticed they've closed off a pool and have to drain it and then refill it, that's what it is. But like, have you not noticed it on cruise ships? It's always the pool's in a random spot, like it's right in the middle of the cruise. So how do they do? They must do it at night time or something. Really, when people aren't, because most cruises the pool's usually shut by like 8 to 10 p.m.
Yeah, I remember them doing it once when we were on our cruise.
Oh,
like
dear.
they did drain it once,
Yeah.
but I think it was an overnight process.
Well, there you
so it might
go.
be like the 12 hours sort of process, maybe.
But a story to finish us off is similar to Jess's, which great way to finish the
Well, I think we've convinced people not to go on cruises now.
right. So for on this cruise, there was a certain guest, and it was this same guest that took a dump in the pool 3 days in a row. This pool had to be emptied and disinfected every time, and on the third occasion, they caught him and he then proceeded to scoop the poop into a glass, hand it to a member of staff, saying the pool didn't need to be emptied anymore. And then that same day he was kicked off the ship.
What is wrong with people?
Yep.
What the hell is wrong with people? The fact that we've already, like, I didn't have to search long to already find, like, comments about poop. Yeah, literally. You know what? They should just be called poop cruises from now on. Like,
No.
I think cruise ship nightmares is going to turn you guys off ever going
Yep.
on a cruise. But also, we have had a good experience.
Yes.
So also don't let it deter you either.
No. And to finish us off, did you know that in cruise ships, they typically do not have a deck 13 due to traditional superstitions? So most of them will not have a number 13 in their, in the deck, the deck numbers.
So
They'll skip it. And they
Skip
skipped
it.
number 17 because it's considered the unlucky number in Italy. There you go.
That's a very good little end to the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right, catch you all next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Two Girls, No Plan. We hope you enjoy this episode. Please like, comment, and share. We look forward to chatting your ears off on the next episode. Oh, and please do not forget to hit subscribe. We need to pay these bills. Like, really, we really do.